Hello again, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to a special bonus episode of Chop-Socky Cinema. A nice little surprise dose of Wata in your diet. I'm Josh, and join me now is...
I'm Dave the Head, and Wata is good for the body.
Hey, it is, and soul. And you know what else is good for the body and soul? Pinjok Salat. Watching Indonesians just breaking and snapping limbs and stuff.
Jesus, if you've watched... Oh, I wish I remember the name of it. John Bach, I think, or something like that.
Ong Bak.
Ong Bak. Oh my God! Ever since I've seen that movie, it's just if I ever meet somebody who looks like they know what they're doing, I'm keeping my arms and legs safely to myself.
And actually, the movie that we did, this is actually going to be a collaboration of two movies: The Raid Cycle, The Raid, The Redemption, and The Raid 2 by Gareth Evans. And Gareth Evans, no, he's a Welshman. He's a Welshman that just really digs Pinjok Salat. So much that he did a movie called Marintal, which I've never seen, but I've heard it's pretty awesome. However, the guy that he cast in Marintal plays Rama, the main character of both Raid movies. Yeah,
I like that they kept his scar from the first movie to the second one.
Oh no, that's the one thing about this. I mean, basically, we'll start with the first one, The Raid. It's pretty simple premise.
Rookie cop.
Yeah, rookie cop, family man. He's got a baby on the way, and he gets pulled into a secret, like, black bag SWAT operation to go into a fully armed tenement building.
Yeah.
That's owned by a drug lord called...
No idea.
Tama or Tone or something. But anyways.
And his two lieutenants.
And his two lieutenants.
Mad Dog and
Andy.
Yeah.
Actually, Andy and Mad Dog. And the thing is of course, this plan falls apart real quick. And I mean, the thing is, if that premise seems familiar to you, it should, because it's basically Dread.
Or Dread was basically it.
Yeah, because this came out in 2011. So,
but it's almost like the reverse Siege film.
Yeah.
Where they're the ones doing the sieging.
Yeah, they're doing the siege, and the thing is that the best is that, I mean, the guy that's the drug lord, he actually has an intercom, and he basically, I mean, he's like, oh, guess what? We have some unwanted and unwarranted visitors. Please show them that they are not welcome here, and just machete-wielding crackheads from bottom to top. It's rough.
I'm not saying I've ever seen people like that, but I've lived in some communities where I've seen people like that. Oh, yeah, I mean, he kind of told everybody in the building, you help repel them, you get to stay free. Because realistically, he's selling them crack.
Yeah, oh, no, yeah, I mean, just like, to all of it, I mean, and the fact that apparently every crackhead knows, like, Pin Jocks a lot in this movie. Just army of, like, kung fu drug addicts.
Well, I guess if you're high enough, you can just whip your arms around in any disregard of safety.
But, I mean, first of all, I mean, Rama is super cop supreme. Like, he watches his boys get cut down left and right. And then there's a little bit of a, like I said, without giving away too many spoilers of the movie, he actually has one more ally than he thinks he does in the building.
Right.
And that's a huge part of the plot. And again, it really plays back to his motivation of that he does this because family's so important to him.
The other side that's kind of a trick is there's the grizzled lieutenant or whoever leading it. I liked his speech. Remember, he's like, I don't want to see any empty seats on this truck on the way back.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he goes out, yeah.
Oh, well, I don't want to give away too many spoilers.
Yeah.
But, and then there's that gray-haired guy who seems to be their contact. He knows a little bit about the building that he seems to be an inside man.
Yeah, the gray-haired guy is he's like an assistant commissioner or something like that. He's basically one of the paper pushers that he's kind of been building up this case.
If I've learned anything from these two movies, the media is painting this area as a very corrupt community.
Super corrupt. Like, I mean, and especially that's the one thing is they paint the hero Rama as one of the least corrupt dudes in the police department.
And since there's a raid 2, you're pretty sure he makes it through the first one. How he gets there is very interesting.
Oh, yeah, but and then we'll basically break it down. We'll do a rating for both of them then at once. So,
okay.
Yeah, Dave.
Well, since I've not seen the rating.
Okay, pretty much, basically, for Dave, who doesn't know this, basically we break down what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, and then, of course, it's going to be our standard scale of paper cranes, 1 being the drizzling shits, and 5 being the standard for which every movie of this genre should be set from that.
And we're just doing the whole thing. We're not breaking it down in any kind of sub.
Well, no, I was in we'll do part 1, part 2.
What I mean, we're not talking about any kind of subcategories in the movie. We're not talking about the action versus the.
I mean, if you
script, I don't know. You tell me.
I know. Basically, you pretty much go back and forth. Like,
okay.
if you, yeah, I mean, if you thought the action was a particular strong point of that, because I'll start with it. I think one of the action sequences are ridiculous.
Yeah, they do get crazy.
I mean, very almost hyper choreographed. Like, you could really, because I mean, the director was also the action sequence coordinator too.
In the first movie, there seemed to be a sense of realism to it that every once in a while it just forgot, and that aggravated me a lot.
Oh, where it pretty much it went from this really gritty thing to then he starts doing crazy John Woo I break the laws of physics stuff.
Right. It's like they're fighting, and then after the fight, you can tell he's tired, and then all of a sudden he's in 6 more, and the same blows half an hour ago.
His second through 6th win kicks at that point.
That was the only negative I felt about the action. I liked it a lot. I mean, I enjoyed the raid, and the characters were fun. They in the little windows that you had, several of them fleshed out a bit. And I
like I said, I mean, even the bad guys. I mean, especially when they established that this tiny little dude, he looks like a Bichon Frise, if I can say anything, called Mad Dog. I mean, of course, you know he is the baddest motherfucker in this movie because he looks like a little poodle.
He is an odd fella. I don't know. I guess guessing he's 5'6" and 108 pounds.
I would say if that. I mean, I'd say he might even be 5'4", 5'5".
He's just a wiry, stringy pile of hate in this film.
Oh, he's like a little, he comes at you like a freaking spider monkey made of razor wire. I mean, just all over our poor heroes in this movie.
And he has a couple of good shining scenes. I mean, and the best part about it is, in my opinion, is at no time do you feel like somebody's got the upper hand. Even when the characters, be they the good guys or the bad guys, win, they paid for it.
Oh no, that's the one thing about this movie is it's very much attrition, as in like because at first the guys come in and they're like tagging and gagging people,
right?
They're clearing
tying
rooms,
them,
but then one of the dudes gets like twitchy, and then as soon as that alarm goes off, then it's just white knuckle panic for like the good guys the rest of the movie,
right?
And I mean, it's really floor to floor. I mean, and it goes from having like whole hallways to the very end of the movie, which is actual like bigger room set pieces.
Right,
like
right.
There's a drug lab
or a giant storage room or boiler room. I don't know.
But let's see. As far as stuff that I didn't like about this, actually no, the first one. I mean, I thought it was a pretty like pitch perfect action movie. I would say.
Plus a little. That was for me. That was what was good. It was an action film plus a little.
This one, no, I didn't have a lot of negatives about it. I mean, it was a very tight narrative. It was a very tight narrative.
Raid 1. I don't know how to draw paper cranes. So I'm gonna give it C's. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no.
I'll just do a star. There we go.
A star!
So, as far as the sub rating for the first one, we're going to go back and do both of them. But for the Raid 1, I give it, let's see.
I'm going to give it 3. I enjoyed it. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but I would watch it again.
I'm going to give it 4 paper cranes. Because, like I said, I mean, it went above and beyond, like, what I like in an action movie.
Yeah.
But, and that's the first one. And then, of course, we're going to move right along into the Raid 2, or as I like to call it, Raid 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, man. In the first movie, he was a badass cop. In the second movie, he's a badass undercover cop.
And it's kind of scary. It's scary how good he is at being
a bad guy, right?
But this starts almost immediately after the first movie. Where, and I mean, like... And just say that, oh, they start cutting weight quick in this movie, like any of the survivors of the first movie.
Hey, did you wonder what happened to Character A and Character B and even Character C? Don't worry. We'll take care of that in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, basically, I'm like, if you have questions about who makes it, are they Rama? If you said no, their chances are not that good. But, and this one, it just seems like well, the first one was a very tight space, like a world within this one building.
Right.
I mean, it opens, it's a lot bigger, a lot more open. Like, just, like, the entire, well, actually, they stay in the same city?
I suppose they do. I mean,
because it's in Jakarta, but...
It kind of really never matters. It's just, he has to go to jail to get street cred.
Because, I mean, that's the whole thing is he, at this point, he gets approached by the shadowy internal affairs guy, whom shows he plays kind of hardcore for an internal affairs guy.
The smoking man.
Actually, yeah, the smoking man with the umbrella man. And I mean, he basically tells him is that nope, you were able to stop like the low man, which kind of blew my mind because in the first one, I mean, this drug lord, I mean, he was the nigh omnipotent god king of this apartment complex. Now they're telling him, oh, he's a little fish.
Yeah. And the people he works with, they don't matter. Let's get you in somewhere where we can get some people who matter.
And the whole thing is this is bringing him into, like, kind of show dirty cops.
Ugh.
And, of course, he has to go... Then that's the one thing where he has to go... they tell him, yeah, go beat up this politician's kid. But don't beat him up too bad. Because he wants you to go to prison and then be able to get out. And he thinks he's going to be there for 3 months. He's there for, like, 3 years.
Yeah, he's got 3. But through some events that happen he gets out in 2.
And, I mean, basically, it's a really complex, like, undercover cop crime movie. I mean, I would actually use the word convoluted to describe it.
That's part of my problem with it. It's like, we're sitting here like, what's the story? I don't remember. It didn't matter.
I actually had to look up the Wikipedia page just to clarify some things that I didn't quite understand. Because, I mean, basically, you've got a literal boatload of bad guys in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the shadowy guy that they send him after to get, whom is
turns out to be a big crime boss.
Yeah, I mean, and he's one of the few like non Indonesian dudes in this movie.
And then there's like the Japanese.
There's the Japanese like crime group that the guy he's trying to start a war with, and then there's the other group that he got in with that's the dude and his son, and then and that's when he finds out that actually that guy
Bungan or something.
Bungan and Uko, his son, where he finds out that Bungan and Uko were the main source of the police corruption because he was using the cops. I mean, at one point, I mean, he's still that like righteous like servant of justice, but I mean you see it just he gets ground down in this movie.
I mean, he goes from one action scene to the next with very little why is this happening? It doesn't matter, just action reaction, action reaction.
And the thing is that I mean he's pretty cagey. I mean there are moments of this where he has to adapt to a lot of bad situations.
And I think what's neat is while that is kind of bad in my opinion, there's a lot of extra good around him that wasn't in the first film. There are those fighters, the one with the baseball and the baseball bat, the girl with the 2 claw hammers, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, and actually, one thing I found out, reading the Wikipedia page, is that the claw hammer assassin and the baseball bat guy were siblings.
Like, yeah, brother and
sister. And then there's them, then there's just the other random assassin that...
But they all have kind of a characteristic that makes them stand out, and it's interesting to see them.
And this is kind of a trope of, like, Asian kung fu movies and crime cinema, where, like, the big bad guy has his elite group of, like, badasses that our hero has to defeat.
Because you gotta go through the mini-boss of World 1, 2, 3, 4.
That and also...
and the kitchen.
They bring back the actor that played Mad Dog. He plays a hitman. He is the confidant of Uko's father, Bungan. And, I mean, we just thought it's like, oh, damn, it's Mad Dog. No, it's just... He's this hitman who basically masquerades as a homeless dude. I mean, that's how he kills people. He's a hobo.
Yeah, and he looks it.
But really, as far as what I liked about it, bigger world, you see character evolution in Rama.
The car scenes were a lot of fun.
Oh, that's the one thing. This is where you get to see more car stunts. In this one, there's the van that drives them to the building. In the first one, that's it.
Right.
But there is a full-on, like, just...
chasing.
Like, carnage-filled chase. Like, dudes getting machine gunned in the face in their cars. I mean, there's...
At least he had his helmet on.
Yeah, little good they do him when you shoot him in the face. But then, I mean, one car crashes into a bus stop, and the bus stop falls down on top of it.
Because F your bus stops.
Oh, and really, they do a really good thing about how Rama doesn't know whom he can trust.
Right, yeah. Every time he turns around, there's some kind of sly thing going on. Why didn't you tell me this? You didn't need to know. Why didn't you tell me this? Oh, he's a bad cop. Why didn't you tell me this? It was Tuesday and it wasn't your turn to know.
Because I would actually, and also one of the things that didn't help with this is the lieutenant, the umbrella man that was the guy that put on. He doesn't have contact with this guy for like the majority of the movie. I know. I got the vibe that he was kind of wondering if this guy was in on it and kind of threw him to the wolves,
or just incompetent. No, I mean I get you. He's more worried about his bigger game and not about the pieces on the board. It's like these people don't matter. What matters is you get the evidence. Well, what if I die? Well, the evidence.
So, what'd you like about it, Dave?
I liked how, like I said, while Rama kind of came in a little bit and he wasn't, the realism was gone.
Oh no, yeah, this one was more like what I come to expect from a big money Asian action movie.
And while the realism was gone and his awesomeness kind of retracted a little bit for me, like I said, there were so many other interesting pieces around him that helped make this a well-rounded film.
Oh yeah, it's a much bigger cast than the first one, and I mean that you've just got.
And they've got names.
They've got names, some of which you don't realize they say them when they say them, and you just basically refer to them as this guy for the rest of the movie.
With the weapons that they like, or you know, the guy who got his face burned on the grill because that's what happened to him.
Yeah, and then of course baseball guy where, I mean, he, like, beats people to death with bats, and then he like, effing slaughters a guy with a baseball.
Donk, side of the head.
And the thing is
Blunt force trauma team.
Did they actually show, like, Hammer Girl doing her thing? I don't think they did.
Yeah, she was in a subway.
Oh, okay.
And they sent her after someone, and...
They sent her after the Japanese faction, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm afraid I'm not very good at keeping that story. That was my negative. The story was so convoluted, and it was hard to follow along and understand what was going on. And there was so much action going on that you kind of didn't need it.
That's the one thing is I could tell that Evans, I mean, his action sequences, especially at the end, were very tight, very, like, choreographed.
His stunt team needs to get paid double.
And I'm hoping his stunt team has health insurance.
Yeah, no doubt.
It is some rough stuff. So, now, the Raid 2 on its own. Let's see. Raid Dose.
So many cranes! All the cranes! Little paper cranes.
I'm going to give it 3 paper cranes.
I gave it a 2.
But see, that kind of tracks on that. We both admit that we did, even though it is good, it is not as good as the first one.
It's different. It's good in a different way, but no, I agree with you. I would watch the first one again, and the second one was just very confusing.
Because, now the thing is, as a whole movie, though, I mean, as a whole story, I give him credit, it was definitely an ambitious sequel. I mean, I could see him trying to, because this is actually something that, like, me and William and Roger talked about in our review with John Wick, is that, like, John Wick 2, which we're going to get to when it comes out on Blu-ray, is very much the team basically opened up the world.
Right.
And basically introduced new characters, new bad guys.
So I've not seen number 2 yet.
Oh, okay. But anyways, it's awesome. Anyways. But, no, I mean, it's just that it seems that he got a little bit too ambitious.
In John Wick 2?
Or no, in this one. In this one,
yeah.
like, with his scope.
I think he sacrificed story for scenes. I don't know. I don't know the director, but I kind of feel like he was sitting there going, you know, it'd be really awesome.
Yeah, it seems...
Let's have him beat up 23 people at the bus stop.
And I think he's like, well, we can't just have just a bunch of awesome action scenes. So I think he overcompensated with his convoluted story. But, I mean, as a whole...
I love that fight scene where he was in the prison toilet.
Oh.
And keeping them 1 or 2 at a time
and
coming
then,
through the door.
Then there is a really nice one where, I mean, just the big, nasty, like, muddy prison yard riot. Where, I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
Oh, another thing, he really likes, like, the lightning fast shanking. Where just... When people get shanked, they're like, and that happens to multiple people in this movie.
Well, it happened a lot in the first one, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course, I mean, that's Pinjok's a lot. There's a lot of, like brutal, lightning-fast, rapid-fire movements. Do
you have any, if someone likes this, what they should watch next?
Oh, see, that's the thing is like, oh, it's Indonesian cinema.
Ombak is a pretty good one.
It's
The
good.
Protector.
See, that's the thing is I actually liked Ombak worse than these movies.
You thought it was worse than
No,
this?
I did. I liked Ombak, but then like every movie after that, it was just like, it's about a dude and his elephants.
Yeah. No,
well, then I actually think that this guy that played Rama's a better actor than Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's all I have.
That's the one thing for me is, I mean, honestly, these are really the only Indonesian movies
that you've ever seen. Really.
And I mean, on these, unfortunately, yeah. Hulu had the first one for a while. You can watch them on Crackle if you don't mind, like, a lot of commercials. But,
we actually caught the first one on YouTube, and the subtitles are a little questionable, but I think you can follow along.
That's the one thing is, yeah, that's great when you can get, like, an Asian movie on YouTube, but the issue there is going to be video quality and, like, subtitle quality. So, all right, Dave, what do we give the raid?
The whole thing.
The raid sequence.
The whole thing.
I will put raid at all.
Okay. R.A., rate all. Rate everything. I would give it 3+. I'm going to give it 3 because I think together it's a good story. I give the plus because if you've never seen anything like this, you may actually give it 1 more. I've seen Kung Fu films, Jackie Chan.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's more my style. I like Kung Fu films with a bit of comedy. And there's very little comedy in these.
Now, I gave it 3.5 cranes, but then again, this is actually more my style of Asian action movies. Like, I like John Woo movies like Hard Boiled and The Killer. and also stuff like Full-Time Killer, just really good, dark, gritty, like crime epics with a lot of action in them. But like I said, apart both, like the first one's definitely better than the second one, but as a whole, like 2-movie cycle, I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, if you're a fan of like really nice big money action sequences, then
yeah, I mean if you look at Michael Bay and go, he needs more explosions, this is kind of like that, only with punches.
Yeah, like he needs more explosions and more plot.
Right. This movie is that, with punches and difficult plot.
And interesting little factoid about the first one. For the American release, they hired Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park to do like the music
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was a little weird, but. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Now, I don't know exactly when this is going to show up on the channel. This is kind of like a little bonus episode. Nice little crossover between 8-Star Anime and Chop-Socky Cinema. So, Dave, what you got coming up in Chop-Socky?
In Chop-Socky?
Excuse me. Yeah. Strike that, reverse it. I know what we're doing in Chop-Socky, but 8-Star.
You know what? We are just reaching out to guests, like always, trying to bring people in so that they can bring their anime in. You pretty much got a flavor of what Chris and I and Roger like, so we bring in other people now. I'm trying to, and see what they like. And we took some suggestions offline. So far, we got one for an anime called Kaijo, which if you've never seen it, it's a
booty and butt fighting.
It's a beautiful train wreck. Give it a shot. What about Chop-Socky?
Right now, we are in the middle of Wu Tang month. Wu Tang, where we basically take kung fu movies where the dub has been sampled into Wu Tang songs.
Is it true Wu Tang is not to be fucked with?
Actually, so far, yeah, we actually just watched Shaolin and Wu Tang, and this one apparently, yeah, you can fuck with the Wu Tang, but
it will not end well.
It doesn't end well. And then so far we've done 36 Chamber of Shaolin.
That one just went up today at the time of this recording.
Nice, yeah. And then we just filmed Shaolin versus Wu Tang yesterday, and the next one will be 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, and then our East meets West feature is going to be Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai.
That's a good one.
And also because not only like is a member of the Wu Tang in it, he wrote the score for the movie.
Gotcha.
And I mean, he talks about how he has a leitmotif in the music, where the beat is syncopated to the flapping of pigeon wings.
Yeah, that's...
yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I don't know when this is going to drop on the channel, but stay tuned. Anyways, I'm Josh.
I'm David.
And we'll catch you at the Chop-Socky house.